I kind of want to merge a couple questions here. I'm fascinated in the minimalist movement because, I came from a family that worked really hard and was probably lower middle class. So buying a bunch of shoes or having a bunch of crap, like in some ways that satisfies that itch of me telling myself that like I made it, So I'm fascinated in the minimalist view. And then I think, couple that with everybody staying at home and just being easy to buy shit on Amazon and renovate for the sake of renovating and whatnot. Can you talk a little bit about maybe that minimalist movement and how that relates to happiness? And, we've got a lot of people for the first time ever working from home, educating their kids from home. Like the home has become so much more important in the last 2 years versus, I can kind of distract myself, to your point, going out to a restaurant, going out to a bar, going out to a movie. Do you have any thoughts in the home life for either single people or couples of like, minimalism and designing your space and being happy in your area? Because I know a lot of people that are on their last leg with, working from their kitchen table and having their kids have to, be in school and Zoom, or they're just home alone and they like don't feel comfortable in their space anymore. I don't even know what question I'm asking, but I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on like space, environment, home, minimalism. Go wherever you want with that question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I mean, going back to the point about movies, I don't put judgment on this. I guess I will say that I'm lucky in the sense for me that I don't have kids, and so I don't have those distractions. But I mean, sometimes it takes a conversation like this for me to realize like, what I have, I'm fortunate for, and I don't have somebody distracting me from my work every single day. So I understand how that can be different and frustrating, and at times, putting us on our last leg every single day because we are trying to educate and try to work and all the same. I respect those people. That's just I don't have that distraction in my life. Now, I also want to say in regard to minimalism, there are people who are hardcore minimalists out there, and that's not me. So I don't want to say something to offend those people. But for me, one of the biggest things when it comes to actually making purchases, I want to make sure that what I'm buying is actually going to serve me in some way and actually going to bring value to my life. And so I don't know. I try to practice the practice of, if I'm going to buy something and it's a fairly significant purchase, I'm going to think about it for a little bit of time, a week or two. I'm going to put it in my cart, let it sit there, see if I get a retargeted ad and I get a coupon from whatever website I'm buying it from. And I want to make sure that it's something that I'm thinking about every single day, like naturally. Like I'm not going to keep it in my line of sight, but if it's something that keeps coming in mind and I realize that, okay, this is something that I actually want, it's going to add value to my life, then I will let myself have it. Some things that I always let myself have are books. That I do my best to expand my worldview through those. And so, when I go to the bookstore, I'm stealing this quote from Ryan Holiday. I will never let finances get in the way of a book that I want to read. That's important to me, and they are fairly, they're not super expensive, especially if you go to half price books or something like that. And so I want to make sure that that's something that I continue to invest in, at least for myself. Most recently, for example, I've been wanting to kind of get back into strength training. And so I've been following, maybe you've heard of this company before, Banff Hammer. It's a big ass hammer. Like it's a hammer. They have got like 10, 20 pound and 40 pound weights. And so I bought a 40 pound hammer that's not here yet, but it's something I've been wanting for a long time. And so you basically do all these, mobility exercises to help you build your strength. And it's something that I've been thinking about doing for a long time, and finally pulled the trigger on it because I was getting back into strength training and actually, making sure that I remain in shape. So, big purchases like that, I do my best to not do on a whim because I don't want to have that buyer's remorse. And I mean, now with all the supply chain issues, I think we have a lot more of an opportunity. I hope we have a lot more of an opportunity going into the holidays to think about what we're actually buying. I hate Black Friday. I think Black Friday is a bit the bane of the holiday season. I've worked at Best Buy on Black Friday in the past, and it was just a nightmare. I don't know. I just want people to be more cognizant of what they're buying in their lives, and I don't want it. I don't know. Again, I just want people to. I don't know. I want it to serve value. I want it to scratch an itch instead of, just hitting that dopamine center in your brain and saying, hey, I bought something. This feels good for 5 minutes. And, oh, now I I just spent $200 and I really don't care about this gadget or whatever it is. So I don't know. For me, that's an exercise that I try to do every time I try to purchase something. So when it comes to minimalism, that is my minimalism. I'm always trying to get rid of crap that I don't use anymore. And so just, I guess, speaking of Christina Wise, she made me realize that I really love having a simple life. And a lot of that is not having too many distractions.
Yeah, I love that. And, you mentioned meditation and mindfulness earlier. One of the things that has forced me to be mindful is having kids, because it's funny how much judgment you put on kids because of their lack of understanding. And then you're like, wait, I do the same thing. So, when you talk about purchasing stuff that adds value versus scratch an itch, we'll be walking through the store and I can tell when we're at Target, when the kids are just like, I want that. I want that. Can I have that toy? Can I have that toy? And you can realize when it's that versus like, oh, this look of wonderment of like, Daddy, could we put together that Lego toy? And it's like, all right, well, now I'll spend the $30 on that, but I won't buy the $5 tchotchke. And what's funny is as I'm walking through the store with them and I'm like, these stupid kids, like they just want to grab everything off the shelf and whatnot. Then I start to reflect on myself and I'm like, wait a minute, that's exactly what I used to do with shoes or DVDs or pick whatever the thing is, or cars that I've wasted an insane amount of money on. You spend the money, you get that little 5-minute dopamine shot, and then you're like, well, now I need those shoes in a different color to get the dopamine shot again. And then I need to buy that. And then I gotta trade it in to get a nicer car. And it's like having kids is like the thing that has made me because I've tried meditation, I've tried the mindfulness exercises. I know this lady, Juliana Ray, who's an awesome mindfulness coach. I've tried it all, and I can't get into that rhythm of meditation. But being with my kids, you have to be super mindful of everything. Yes. And it's been a great reflection. So I recommend you knock a few of them out one day, or adopt a couple or whatever.